Hello guys. So next we are moving on to the debugging in JavaScript. So what is this and what is happening here? We're going to discuss. Okay. So the debugging is the process of testing, finding, and reducing bugs in computer programs. I think I explained this in the previous video, but still, okay, we can go through it once again if you want to. And here, basically, we identify errors like syntax errors, runtime errors, or logical errors, and we use debugging tools to analyze code execution, and we implement fixes and verifying correctness. Okay, so these are a few things we use in order to do the debugging. Okay, so today we are here to discuss about the types of errors in JavaScript. So there are like few types of errors basically. So there are three different kinds of errors. One is syntax errors. Syntax errors is incorrect syntax. So we do it sometimes, right? When we are sleeping, when we are not feeling good, or when when our head is somewhere, it went to a vacation, we don't know what we are writing, and we tend to make these mistakes. Although we know all these syntaxes, sometimes we perform like we make mistakes, okay? Because we are not a machine, we are humans. So these are issues with incorrect syntax. This prevents execution, right? So here we have console.log. This is a syntax error because there is a missing closing quote, right? And next we have like a runtime errors. So the errors occurring during execution are the runtime errors. So for example, let a equal to undefined. So here like the a is not defined, so this is a runtime error. So here we are writing console dot log of a dot length. So basically we cannot read the properties of undefined. So we are trying to get the length of this, but we cannot read the properties of this because we are mentioning that this is undefined. The particular variable is not defined, right? So this is a runtime error, which basically comes in the time of execution. So the logical errors are the errors when like we can see them when the code runs without errors but produces incorrect results. Okay, basically when we try to write a logic, if it doesn't works well, it doesn't give the desired output. If we thought it would give or function in certain way, but it didn't function in a certain way and it gives totally different output, the logic we return or wrote is basically wrong. So this is logical error. So for example, we want to add something here, we want to add a and b, but we wrote here a minus b, but this is a logical error because we have to put plus instead of minus. I mean i mean plus instead of minus, yeah. So next we have like JavaScript debuggers. So what are JavaScript debuggers? So this is also an important concept, but I feel like it's not that important. I don't know whether interviews would be that deep. Maybe people, I don't know whether the recruiters will ask you these kind of like a deep questions, but it's better if you try to learn them. So here we have like a building debugging tools. So I'm just going to explain these to you in a more brief way. Okay. So the modern debuggers provide built-in JavaScript debuggers accessible via developer tools. Debuggers can turn on and off, forcing errors to be reported. They allow setting breakpoints and examining variables while code executes. Okay, so while code is executed, so they turn and off and they force errors, and they examine errors while the code is executed. So here we have like steps to activate debugging is Chrome. Open more tools, developer tools, select console in Firefox, web developer, web console, Edge, developer tools, select console, Opera, developer tools in console, Safari. This particular step we have to follow in order to enable the debugging. So second one is using console.log. So one of the simplest debugging techniques is logging messages to the console. So console.log. So this is the another debugging thing. So next third one is setting breakpoints. So breakpoints stop executing a specific lines, allowing variable inspection. So the breakpoints can be set like this: open dev tools F12, and navigate to the sources tab. Click on the line numbers to set breakpoints. So resume execution using the play button after analysis. So using the debugger keyword. So debugger keyword is also used. So here debugger statement stops execution and opening debugging tools. So here we return a function test. So here let n equal to 42. So here we are using the debugger. So this execution pauses here, console.log of n, and we are using the test. So if debugging is unavailable, debugger has no effect. Okay. So the debugger, let me like quickly show it. I hope my terminal works. Okay. I'll paste it here. I hope it works. It's not working for some reason. Really. So here, look at this, the debugger. So, and here it is paused. So next, if we want to continue, what we can do is like it's getting like we are getting like undefined as an error. So that means maybe there is no like error here. Maybe that's why it's showing us the undefined. So next, we can this is how we can like test using the debugging. Using the statement debugger. So basically, it is used to see whatever the statements like where we have the error, like in which statement. So, for example, if I've written some error here, so for example, let me give like an error. Like let me write something. Maybe I'll write null, not null. Maybe undefined. Okay, and let me save it and let me run this. Look at this. So now we will get the answer without like executing. It's okay, like if we are using like a small code, like this is basically 6 lines of code, it's fine, we will get where we did mistake. But when we are dealing with a large and large amounts of code, like lines of code, we couldn't understand where we did error, where we are getting like error from. It's really confusing. So it would be great if we add like this debugger statement. We can check, after a few lines of code, we can check whether there is an error without just, without getting the flood of errors or flood of like, um, debugging lines onto you, without having all that stress. You can just use this to make things more simple and more easy. So if I remove this and put it back, you'll get like a normal thing. Okay, so that is the basic use of debugger keyword. Okay. So next, the common debugging issues and fixes. So what are these? Let's see. So debugging syntax errors. So syntax errors occur when the code violates JavaScript syntax rules. So these errors are typically caught during compilation. So these errors occur when the code violates syntax errors. We know. So how to debug them is code editors and linters flag syntax errors. Fixing syntax mistakes ensures smooth execution. So next, console.track values. We saw it already. Debugging with breakpoints, we saw it already. And identifying undefined variables. So undefined variables usually indicate scope issues or missing arguments passing. So here, like, we don't know, like, greet of name, okay, but we didn't define what name is. So we get like a undefined variable. So call greet of Ajay to pass a valid argument. So what is happening here? Let me like quickly show it to you guys. Okay, let's debug it. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So let me stop it. Let me save it. Let me run it. So here you got hello undefined because we didn't mention whom we have to, whom we have to say hello to. We didn't give the value to this variable. So if we gave like Kyra, let's see what happens. Let's just test it. Okay. So we got an error because we have to use the call. Okay, the call greet when we are like calling this function. So let me quickly write this here. I won't greet Ajay, I want to greet Kyra. Now let's try to run this. Okay, there is like an error here. I think I didn't give like these. I think so. Let's see. I don't know why there are like a lot of errors in this codes. Yes, we got it. So basically, we are calling the greet of greet. We are greeting the Kyra. So now we got the output. I'm sorry, guys. I was just mistaken. I thought the call greet is like maybe they're using the call in front of greet. Okay, there is like a brain fog here because I it's 4 a.m. in the morning. So yes, I didn't slept. Okay. So next, I've been working very hard for this channel, and next you have like catching errors with try catch. So this is like handling errors using the try catch. Handling runtime errors prevents crashes. Use it for handling JSON parsing errors. So here we wrote the try. We wrote like an element JSON.parse of invalid. We are catching it. Console.error of parsing error dot message. So what was the error we got? That is given here, and ensure valid JSON input. So ensure that we gave like a good input. So here as we gave like a invalid or something, it of course shows us the error because we given something wrong here. Next, so that is the fix we get here. Ensure valid JSON input. So next, debugging asynchronous code with the promises. So handling async operations can be tricky. Catch handles the rejected promises. So dot catch. We use dot catch here. Try catch, and here we use again catch for async operations. So you have like a fetch invalid URL. So we are fetching something, and like catch error console dot errors. If there is any error, this is going to catch. So the fix we get is handle network errors gracefully. So I mean the fix that happens or what it does, what it fixes is handles the network errors gracefully. So when we entered like a invalid URL, the error that is shown is request failed. Okay. So next, debugging event listeners. Event listeners may not trigger as expected. Ensure correct event target selection. So document.get element by ID of btn dot add event listener. So we are trying to add something. So if we click it, a function should be executed. So a function should tell button clicked. Function should give this as an output. So it ensures the element id exists. So if this element id doesn't exist, then it shows us the error. Okay, so if we put it in the try block, if we written some like yeah, if we put it in the try block, then it shows that the element ID exists. Okay. So next we have like memory leak detection. So memory leaks slow down applications. Use Chrome Dev tools to detect leaks, avoid excessive memory allocations. So here we have like a let a. So this is an array. So set interval a dot push of data comma 1,000. So this is a potential memory leak. So we are putting like we are pushing the this into so many like you know So clear unused data regularly. So we have to like clear the unused data. Um, we use like a Chrome Dev tools to detect the leaks. Okay. Basically, we are like pushing the data into this like thousandth position or something. Like it's so like every we are setting interval. That means for every thousandth position, we are pushing the data into that array. Okay, so which is like clearly waste of the memory. So we have to detect it and we have to make sure that it doesn't happen. So now next we have like a JavaScript errors, throw and catch, throw and try to catch. So we know this, okay? We studied this everywhere. It is everywhere. Whichever programming language we try to get into, we have it. So let me explain this to you guys real quick. Okay. So use throw to create custom and try catch to handle them, preventing the program from crashing the finally block ensures the code runs after error handling. So yeah, there is also finally here, regardless of success or failure. So throw use it to custom errors and stop code execution. Try catch allows you to catch and handle errors, preventing the program from crashing. Finally executes whether there is regardless of an error occurring or not. The after the try and catch block, the finally executes. So if you have custom errors, you can create your own error types by extending the error class, right? So if we didn't find the predefined errors, we can create our own errors in order to prevent the program from crashing. Okay, so throw is used to create custom errors and stop code execution. So we use throw to custom our errors. So here we have like an example. Try dad alert, welcome fellow geek. So this is a catch ERR console.err. So this is we make use of dad alert, which is not a result keyword. Basically, alert is the keyword which we use here. So this is the output we get, reference error. So next the syntax is try catch. Okay. So in the above code, our catch block will not run as there is no error in the code. Okay, so basically this is the, I think this is like okay, this is basically next, this is basically explaining us that there is no error in the code. If there is no error in the code we written, then the catch block doesn't run. Okay, so the JavaScript throws block the throw statement. So here, look at this. The throw statement allows you to create custom errors and throw exceptions manually. Throw new error of error message. So this is the syntax. So the key point is throw creates a custom error. It can be used to stop the execution of a program and pass control to error handling mechanisms. You can throw any type of object. So it's like you can throw like any type of object like a string, number, object, etc. It's common to throw an instance of error. So for example, here we have like a try. So in this we are creating our own type of error. Throw new error, yeah, sorry. So this is the output we get when there is an error. So catch of e console.log. So now there is an error here. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So the finally block statement runs unconditionally after the execution. So this is the syntax. After try and catch, we have the finally. So whatever the statement written here, whether there is an error or not, finally executes. That's it. Finally doesn't care about the try block, whether the catch block is executed or not, whether there is an error or not. It doesn't care about anything. So it just executes. It just does its own thing, regardless, but it doesn't care about anything or anyone. So the finally block can also override the message of catch block. So be careful while using it. So it can also override the message of the catch block. So so we have to be careful while using it. So let me like creating custom error types. So what it does is basically it can also like get the message of the catch block. So I will maybe I have to demonstrate an example for this. Okay, So I will quickly do it after I explain these all concepts with you guys. I mean, to you guys. So creating custom error types. So you can create custom error types by extending the built-in error class. This can be useful for more specific error handling. So you can create the your own error types by extending the built-in error class. We know this by using the throw. Okay. So here we have like function valid input. So this is if input is greater than zero. I mean, if the input is less than zero, then we want like new validation error. Input must be positive number. So this is we are like basically creating our own error. Okay, so the written valid input. So this is we are writing it in a function. Okay, and the output we get is yeah, the output we get is input must be a positive number. So next, the conclusion is throwing and catching errors in JavaScript ensures that your application can handle unexpected situations that crashing by using throw, try and catch, and finally you can create a robust error handling system that improves your code stability and user experience. So let me write a program of try and using try catch and finally. Okay, so let me write for example, let me take like an input, a variable a. So I'm writing in the try block. I'm taking the input for the variable a. Okay, or maybe let me give it by myself. So a equal to, for example, minus 10. Okay, so next we can write the catch block. So here, as we can see, this is what we've done, right? So in the catch block we write this, and next we have like a finally block. So in this, let's try to write maybe throw new. Here we are creating new error of input must be positive. So when the input must be positive, if a, so whatever we feel like we're going to get error, so where we feel like we get error, that particular block we have to place it, we have to place that particular block in the try, the particular lines of code in the try block. So if the a is less than 0, then I want it to display the error. Okay, like input must be positive, and I want to write like a finally block which shows, which gives me some output like thank you for executing, something like that. Okay, so let me try to run this. So what we got here, we got like thank you for executing. So regardless of whether we have like a thing or not, we didn't whether we had um, how to explain this, whether we got like an input or not, yeah, whether we got the output or not, whether we have the error or not, the finally block is executed. You can see this, thank you for executing. And here we got the error, input must be positive, right? Yes. So that is a little small example. So, and let's try to execute these kind of code using like try catch. So let me take like alert of I love chess. Okay. So next we're writing a catch of ERR. So if there is an error, console.log of. So this is what we are doing, right? We are printing the error. So that is what we are doing here. ERR. Okay. So you won't get any error here. There is no use of like. So you won't get any alert because you get alerts basically when you're using it, when you're executing it in a web page. Okay, so we are executing here. So let me write like console.log. So it will be like easy. Okay, I love JS. So now I'm going to put like console ll, okay, or some llee. Okay, so let's see. So there is an error here, right? So console console is not defined. So this catch block caught this and it is like showing us this is not defined. Okay, this ERR. So whatever error we got here, that is printed here, that is displayed here from the catch block. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you got the concept. So if you have any doubts about this, you can just ask me. You can comment down below. So next we are going to talk about the objects in JavaScript. We got into the object-oriented programming. Okay, the OOPS concept, which is very interesting. So that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for other series that are going to come in my channel very very soon. And yeah, that. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.